Hey, welcome back, guys. In the words of the Sorcerer Supreme himself, we're in the endgame now. Snowfall's standout 8th offering was tragic on two fronts, violence and betrayal. Franklin and co. have some major decisions to make and not make going into next week's penultimate episode. I'll be breaking it all down in typical top 10 WTF fashion. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. Lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things Snowfall. Here we go. WTF moment number 10, Lost in the Wilderness. The episode began in what's presumably the jungles of Nicaragua with a broken Reed, certainly still grieving the loss of his brother, among other things. During his binge and descent, he noticed a sea of corpses, one of which turned out to be his former contact in the country, and was subsequently knocked unconscious by an unknown woman who held him responsible for the many deaths. WTF moment number 9, Panic Mode. Franklin was confronted by his collective for Alton's misstep in exposing their clandestine operation. Jerome, Louis, and Leon expressed their concerns to Saint, with Jerome being the most vocal against his nephew. Then, Franklin gave one of his greatest monologues to date, vowing to take the heat for whatever's coming and keep them out of harm's way, inspiring a slight smirk from Amin Joseph, the actor who portrays Jerome, who tried his damnedest not to laugh out loud at his on-screen nephew's passionate diatribe. WTF moment number 8, Traitor. Well. It turned out that Tanase was indeed a mole, but not for Scully, the police, or even Irene, but Manboy himself, Franklin's strongest adversary at the moment. T was threatened by Manboy, and so was her brother, which is why she's being coerced in the first place. Manboy promised to kill them both if he didn't receive access to Saint's plug by week's end, placing fear and urgency into the heart of the traitorous Tanase. WTF moment number 7, he does, I don't. Oso was approached by Havmeyer, who was searching for info on Teddy and his whereabouts. The two exchanged words, and Havmeyer attempted to charge towards Teddy's office with a crowbar. However, Oso placed a gun on the table and cocked it for good measure, all without looking up from his morning paper. You gotta love how quietly maniacal Gustavo can be. WTF moment number 6, Zebras and Lions. Franklin set up a meeting with Irene in an effort to come face to face with the woman attempting to bring down what he's built. The two discussed Alton and Saint's philosophy on why he walks his current path. Franklin then left Irene with a warning about going after the government, bringing her family's welfare into the fold. Upon Irene's extreme discomfort, Saint left her with a loaded good luck and bid her adieu. WTF moment number 5, Return to Sender. Sissy was approached by Paul Davis's associate, who returned the previous donation made by the Saint family. She was flabbergasted by the gesture, but that maneuver was just one of the many dominoes knocked down as a result of Irene's explosive article against their budding empire. WTF moment number 4, Not My Louis. Jerome, Leon, and the crew attended Fatback's funeral, much to Louis' initial chagrin. She later appeared at the function herself in a show of support for her soulmate. However, things went terribly left when the homegoing was attacked by Khadijah and her gang. The funeral was shot up, leaving a few casualties and hitting our beloved Aunt Louie, who this commentator would mourn profusely had her life been extinguished. WTF moment number 3, The Aftermath. Jerome finally is allowed to see Louie, albeit in a critical state. He's absolutely devastated over his lover's condition, sobbing uncontrollably and surely blaming himself for her misfortune. He subsequently vows to ride on Manboy and those responsible for his lover's pain. WTF moment number 2, Next Time You Won't. While sleeping peacefully in her home, Irene was suddenly rushed by Teddy and Oso. Reed assured the problematic reporter that she wasn't the noble white knight she was trying to be, and gave her a non-lethal injection, promising that the next one would be the reverse. The frightened reporter was then lulled back to sleep by the sedative. And WTF moment number 1, I Know It Was You, T. Tanase contacted Manboy once finally home and conveyed that Franklin will give him the plug and that he must stall his sister's violent overtures. She then warned him that Jerome was planning an attack as retribution for the funeral massacre. After their conversation, T was silently approached by Franklin and Peaches. Franklin then asked his former lover, "How long you been playing me?" while a visibly shaken T awaited in terror under the threat of elimination. Some lingering thoughts before we end today's video. The title of this episode was Betrayal, and the theme was encompassed by this as well. Now, of course, the dishonor most notably went to Tanase, but she's not alone. Alton even speaking to Irene was a critical violation of trust to his family, and Manboy plotting against Franklin from the beginning was Louie's warning returned to haunt them. She pleaded with them to take Scully's side at the start of the war, and she was right. Even Scully himself chastised his fall brother-in-law's angling against Saint. It's going to be a wild final too, y'all. Speaking of Tanase, what do you think will come of her now that her cover is blown? If you noticed, the double agent was wearing double colors for most of the episode, signaling her dual allegiances ever so subtly. I'll be analyzing her fate and its potentialities in a video to come this week. Betrayal by the one you love always hits the worst. Did you see Franklin's expression once he realized Tanase was the mole following his meeting with Reed? It just hit him like a weighted ton, and I honestly felt for him a bit. But alas, it all coincides with the mistake-riddled season he's having. And thankfully, he's waking up to the many dangers surrounding him. Franklin's got to exercise that intellect he has in seasons past. And when you study the fall of empires critically, a woman wasn't too far behind it. Even biblically, there's a plethora of examples. And with this family's religious leanings, Saint should have just known better. Here's hoping moving forward. If you notice, Snowfall's title image has been slowly disintegrating since the show's inception. As crack has continued to permeate Los Angeles, the opening imagery has followed suit in the form of decimation. It has now overrun the image altogether, to the point of destruction, a parallel to what the drug actually did to inner cities throughout America. I wonder if Irene will have much memory of her impromptu encounter with Reed and Oso. Will she just cast such a nightmare as just that, or be shaken by the confrontation going forward? We shall see. And lastly, we all knew that Louie would be harmed based on the premiere trailers, but it didn't make things any less painful. Aunt Louie is the heart and soul of this show, and a major factor into Franklin's drug exploits overall. Many of you have requested an analysis on the complex character, and you're going to get it sooner than later, as well as others, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching today's video. What were your thoughts on Betrayal? Be sure to drop me your opinions in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are fans of Snowfall, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.